This is Mike, NoStressMike.com. Want to talk about shit hits the fan and living in the city, and more specifically, living in a gated community. If I lived in a gated community, the gated communities that I'm aware of, they do have a wall, some type of a wall around them, something to separate them from the outside. Also, the ones I'm aware of have an association. Now, there's going to be some problems right off the bat, and that's going to be okay. Like I say, I think in a three-man militia type mentality. In other words, as a three-man militia, we are not under any type of laws. We are under no control of any human. In other words, you know, we choose to work with different people, like the sheriff department. We would work with the police chief. I'm not saying I'm going to work with a deputy or a policeman. Under some circumstances, maybe. But the main thing is, if I'm going to work with them, I'll be working directly underneath the one that's taking the responsibility. I will only be working with, like I say, the sheriff or the police chief under their direction, as long as what I'm instructed to do will be morally correct. And the reason I'm saying all this right up front is there's going to be problems automatically. You live in the city, and you're used to following man-made laws. And I say in a gated community, you are used to living under the association rules and regulations, or whatever they are. And so it's going to be a little difficult for people to use their morals. City people don't tend to do what is right and wrong. That's not the way they structure their life. They structure their life more with the laws and the rules. And after a shit hit the fan situation, there are no laws and regulations and all this stuff. At the extreme, I'm talking at the far end here. Like I say, the total United States falling apart. Let's see. There's you really need to go back to basics, and that is morals. And seeing that city people don't really use their morals all that much, it's going to be a little difficult. And like I say, if I'm living in this gated community, just automatically, well, like I say, I'm already going to be in a three-man militia. So in other words, when I deal with the association, if I deal with others in the gated community. And you got to remember, a lot of these people in the gated communities got a lot of money. So there's going to be people there that are, important in some corporation or something like that, and they're not used to being told what to do, and they're used to a structured type of life. And after a shit hits the fan event, none of this is going to apply. And so I'm going to have to explain to everybody what's going on and seek cooperation. And doing it by yourself isn't really that good. And the way I look at it, the times are kind of strange. And like I say, we're working on morals. And so that's why you have the three-man militia. I'll have two others that will verify that I am morally correct on my reasoning. And if they're going to go along with my reasoning, that means they will physically go along to help back me up. And I would do the same for them. It doesn't, I mean, we're working as a unit. We're trying to do the morally proper thing. And that doesn't necessarily mean everybody's going to be happy. And but I say we're not doing this for happiness. What we're trying to do is get through the short term. And I am looking at a short-term, how do you call it, solution to a long-term problem. And the reason I'm going to be operating in this manner is because I have to get everybody on board, and everybody's got to be understanding where we're going with this, because we need the safety of our families is the number one priority right now. And if we choose not to leave the city, and that means we're going to be staying right here as long as we can. Everything's going to be spotty. It's not like the whole country is going to go to hell. It's not going to work like that. If you're in an area where things are going to be bad, then things are going to be bad. One block over, it might be bad. One block over might be good. So that's the way it's going to be. So, but we have to prepare for the bad. Now, as the gated community, the ones that I'm most familiar with, they do have some type of a community center, like maybe a place with a swimming pool, a place for parties or stuff. Just something like that. That will be pretty much, and hopefully it'll be more centered in our community. Now, that will be the place where, because we're not going to have electricity, we're probably not going to have water, we're going to have problems. So instead, I know a lot of city people, when they're preparing, they think that they're going to be able to dig in, hold up right where they're at. You might be able to do it for a day or two, but the longer a thing goes on, the better you need to get out. Okay, so now being in the gated community, we're going to have an advantage in which we've like I say, we've got a physical perimeter around us. The people in the community will be responsible for different sections of the fence around us, making sure it's going to stay safe, and the rest of us will be backing them up. So we're going to be basically running this thing with like a camp manager that I talked about in when you're trying to keep control of your local community. Someone that's going to take the responsibility and lead and bring people together. Seeing there are no laws and rules, that brings the morals is very important. And so we will need the backing of others, and they have to be, the others have to have moral strength. And this is what's going to make it work. We're going to have to centralize the community, and like I say, all of our just like we do our other stuff, you have to not only we're centralizing it, but like I say, we're going to have our food. We're going to have to feed the community, because we're not going to have water and electric and all this stuff. So it'll be a lot of outdoor cooking. And so, in other words, everybody in the community will be dragging their cookers over here, and that's what they'll be cooking and preparing food for everybody. There'll be our first aid will be taken care of there. Command center will be there. And these things, like I say, are all going to be coordinated by the camp manager. And the camp manager is a three-man militia. So in other words, there's three of them that are putting their minds together to make this work. Because, like I say, none of us do what we're going to be doing as a three-man militia. We don't do this as a living, and even if we did, if we're doing it as a living, we'd be working with other people like ourselves. We're not going to have that. So in other words, an example would be the security. Okay, who's going to be in charge of the security? That'll be going through, like I say, the camp manager. The camp manager will look around and see there'll be some three-man militias that are involved in security, and then they will pick one of these three-man militias and tell them they're in charge of security. Now that will probably be maybe a policeman might be in that, some military guy, somebody that's had experience, and maybe they're active military, or maybe they really are a policeman now. But now, with the situation the way it is, we all have to take care of our families in our local gated community. So now these people will have to work with others. And like I say, these others aren't professionals. So that's why we work on the morals. You don't need to explain the laws. You don't need to explain the rules of engagement. You don't have to explain any of that stuff, because if you have good morals, you will already know what you need to do. And just in case your morals are lacking in a certain area, there's two others with you, so they can help you explain to you. Well, you see the guy climbing over the fence, shoot him. You don't tell him get off the fence, you shoot him. Okay, and the reason, and your morals might say, well, you just can't shoot somebody climbing over a fence, and you would be right under normal conditions. But if you're with others and they have knowledge and experience on what's going on, they will tell you when you shoot that person and they flop over that fence, flop back on the other side, the people on the outside won't be so eager to jump over the fence either. So there's a reason why you shoot the guy climbing over the fence. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. You're going to have people that you're going to be dealing with when you're in the gated community that aren't professionals in that field. That's why you need morals, and I don't trust anybody in his morals, just like I don't want anybody to trust me and my morals. That's why there's two others that I'm gonna have to convince that I am morally right when I say this, just like the guy climbing over the fence. If the other two say, well, you can't shoot that guy, and then I tell them, well, if we let, you see those other people behind them, they're all getting ready to climb over the fence too. So how are we going to deal with all these people after they climb over the fence? And then they're going to think, well, yeah, maybe you're right. And then I say, okay, so let me go on and do my thing. And so I shoot the guy who flopped over the fence. And then you'll see the other ones won't be coming over the fence. That is the morally correct thing to do under these circumstances. And so, and that's, the whole system's going to be set up like that. Same thing will be eating. Like I say, people won't be cooking in their homes. And the reason is like I say, they've got work to do. You come over here to the community center, you will get food. They have food available right there, and that's food that you have brought in. You've been storing this food. You bring your stored food over to the community center because they're going to be fixing all the food. And because we have responsibilities. We're going to be taking care of the fence. We're going to be moving people. I say the people that are living close to that fence, we need to get their valuables out of their house. If they have weapons and ammunition, food, and stuff like that, we need to get it out of their house, because the houses that are close to the fence or the gate or the fence or wall, those will be the ones that are most likely going to be burned out. So we're going to have to start getting that stuff out of there. In other words, you don't want a house that's close to the fence and use that for a place to store your food. You don't want to use that for a place for your first aid center. That's not the smart thing to do. That's why everything's going to be more centrally located. Water purification. You're going to be people purifying water. It takes time to do that. There's going to be you have to set up facilities so people can come take a bath. They're not going to be able to take a bath in their own house. They're going to be lucky if they can stay in their own house.